Hello, Internet and YouTube specifically. It's Squidgy here, and I'm going to be starting up this new series called Let's Talk. If the phrase Let's Talk has not already been coined, well, I have coined it. If it has, yeah, well, that's just going to be quite awkward for me. So Let's Talk is basically going to be a series where I talk about whatever topic I feel like talking about. I could share general interest with whatever's going on in the world right now, or I could just talk about whatever I want to, which will more than likely be the case in most of these videos. Today, I am going to talk about my favourite video game that I've ever played of all time. It is brilliant. It is the Timesplitters series. It's my favourite game I've ever played. I've played lots of games. I was brought up playing games since I was about 4, and I've been playing more since. For those of you who don't know, Timesplitters is a 3 series game with the first game having no correlation or story whatsoever. It's very very Doom-esque, if I can say that. Doom-esque, like the first Doom. It's grab something. For example, in the first mission, you gotta grab this Egyptian artifact and come back to the base. The base where you've got to put it. It's very much like that. It's the 9-10 missions long. It's really fun to play. The second game is where the proper story started. It started with it's year 2401. Humanity is at war with the great race, Timesplitters. Well, I wouldn't say great, but I did. And it's up to Cortez, the main character of the game, to save humanity. He has to collect the time crystals by going in a time machine, going back in time, doing this, that, and the other. So the game goes through, you do all these really cool things, and it goes on the third game, it's the third story, and it's really quite cool. But the thing that makes Timesplitters a really good game compared to other games I played is the fact that you have the ability to play as a character you want to. You have the ability to, on arcade mode, choose your opponents that you play against, choose how difficult they will be, choose the map, the game mode, and choose the AI you play against, the weapons that are spawned around the map, the respawn time, the score limit, the time limit, even the music is changeable, which is really damned funny if you're in an underground bunker with the disco music blasting out. It's hilarious to play. But what made Timesplitters good for me is not just that, but it's the wide variety of characters. In the first game, there were only 60 playable characters, I think, whereas in the second there's about 120, and in the third there's 150 characters each. Well, not each, but a majority are unlocked by doing certain challenges and the thing called the Arcade League, which is set team games and stuff, which result in giving you characters. I have not done all of it. It's difficult because to unlock characters, you also have to play the story mode on hard difficulty if you want to get all the characters, and I think there's a character you can get by doing the whole game on co-op, which is not fun because it takes a lot of the funny dialogue out of it in the third game because you don't actually speak in the second game, which annoys me. But it's really damn fun to get characters and the knowledge that you are able to unlock a certain character at a certain point. Like, you can work your way towards, say, I'm going to do a challenge which is called Behead the Undead. It's going to be the first one, which is about shooting zombie monkeys with a shotgun, which, trust me, is hilarious. I'm probably going to unlock a character in this. It's either the character you play as or the main enemy, which is a zombie monkey called Brains, who is just hilarious. And then you go through it, and is the 3 awards, there's 4 awards. There's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Very difficult to get platinum on quite a few of the modes. Very difficult. And I've had trouble. But part of the characters is there's such a wide variety in the third game, because there's the story characters, and then there's characters that aren't in the story who are just hilarious. You can play as, say, World War One soldier, World War One's British soldier, because it's a British game, done by Free Radical, who have now Crytek UK. But yeah, so you can play as First World War One British soldiers. You can play as a monkey. That's just out of the ordinary. You can play as Cyborg Chimp, Ninja Monkey, Brains, the little zombie monkey. You can even play as a bunch of fish, who the main part is a whale with a top hat and pipe. This is hilarious. It's called the Shoal, and it just looks funny. You can play as robots, zombies, story characters, like I said, and there's been a succession of characters from all 3 games who are just funny. There's you can play as a duck, a gingerbread man, Robofish, a Chinese chef, because that's, really cool to play as. And in the third game, when you select a character, you get a short animation to go along with that character. It sort of gives you a little insight into their mind. Not by much, though, because it's a bit, sometimes, often weird. That's nothing to do with it. For example, there is a character called Lenny Olburn, who is featured in the story, but not featured, but you can see him in the story as a scientist who injected himself with a serum which caused his mind to mutate and turn him into a zombie, but he didn't write down the formula, so he's actually a pretty smart zombie. As a character, when you select him, he shouts rock and roll, and he sort of looks like Ozzy Osbourne, just a bit, with a Welsh accent. And that's just so cool. You don't get this in games anymore. Another thing about the game series is the fact that there are so many maps, and the maps are really fun to play on, either on your own with bots or just knocking around with mates. Knocking around with mates. And so, what I've done is I've played all the maps. I've played all the games. It is hilarious. And I've found that as the hilarity ensues, you get funny maps, and they're just out of the ordinary. For example, there is a Chinese restaurant which is complete with kitchen and cellar and a working gong. The reason the Timesplitters maps are just so brilliant is they're well made, with a decent theme to each one of them, and a lot of them involve various moving parts to it, and it just makes that so much better. For example, in the disco map, which is literally a disco, it's got disco music, disco lights, and even a bar and bar side entertainment. It's got the drum kit and a guitar, and if you shoot the guitar, it makes strumming noise. If you press X on the drums, it makes drum noises like boom. And there's even a working turntable. And these maps are made so brilliantly and with so much theme that it works. So overall, I'm running short on time now, so Overall, I'm gonna say, if you haven't played this game, dig out your old PlayStation 2 and play it. It's definitely worth it. I've shown a lot of people this game, and 90% of the people that I've told to play it and have played it have fallen in love with it. It's just that good. Alright, I've been Squidgy. You've been brilliant YouTube people by watching this. Click like and subscribe and all that stuff that people say when they're famous on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.